Hi, it's Marguerite from Marguerite's Sewing School. The sewing school here is 24 years old, and we have learned a whole lot about teaching students about the basics and the more advanced techniques in sewing. Today's lesson is about the straight grain of fabric, and this is so important when you are getting ready to cut out a garment. It has to do with making everything hang correctly so that it's straight, or it's supposed to be hanging asymmetrically, whatever it is. It's really, really important. So the first thing you do is I iron my fabric and I fold it with the public side to the inside. And this is the side that people will see when you're wearing the garment. This edge here and along this side here is called the selvage, and this is where it's attached to the loom when it's being woven. So we want the fabric with the public side to the inside and the selvage, both sides, lined up nice and straight, and everything should be good and flat to start with, no bumps or lumps or anything. So this piece, I've already done my alterations on my pattern, so that's important. And this pattern marking on this piece is a line along this way with 2 arrowheads. And this is a pattern drafting mark for indicating a fold of a fabric. So this piece would be placed directly on the fold. Sometimes it will say place on fold, and that is very helpful. So you would place this exactly on the fold of the fabric, which I know you can't see, but that is pretty straightforward, and then you would pin it down. So that is gives you the straight grain when it's exactly on the fold. So this piece is the front of a shirt, and it has got a straight grain of fabric here. Now this straight grain needs to be parallel to this edge over here, and that's the whole deal. Straight grain should be parallel with the selvage edge. So I'm going to pin into this edge here and hold that down, and then I'm going to take my measuring tape, and it doesn't matter what the measure is. I'm going to put my thumb on the edge here away from the fuzz, and I'm going to take that down to this end, and I'm going to see it's a little bit off, so I can pivot around that other pin right there, hold that down, and then pin it. So this piece is on the correct grain of the fabric and is ready for pinning all the way around, so that you'll be ready to cut it out. I typically pin everything on the straight grain of fabric when I'm getting ready to go, so that I know that it's all correct, and I can see that everything is on its perfect grain, and that's just really important. So sometimes on a straight grain, you have, or on a pattern piece I should say, you have this little piece right here. This one's a collar. And I've seen so many students put it randomly here and there, wherever it will fit, where there's a hole that it fits in. Well, that's not correct. This little straight grain is as important as the one on the front of the shirt. So what I'm gonna do, again, I'm gonna pin into this little tiny, this one's tiny, but I still check every single one. I'm gonna measure from here to the edge here, not including the fuzz. Do the same thing over here, and we have it just a hair. And I'm gonna pin into it on this side right here. And then this piece is ready to be pinned completely around so that you're ready to cut out. And you will notice that this has this lovely curve on it here. And this is really important because this is the bias. This is the center back of the collar. So we want our stretch down in here and have this perfectly flat in the front, where our collar points are gonna be on the front of the garment. So this is really, really important to do. And bias, again, is something we'll talk about another time, but bias is important, but getting it on the straight grain, which would give you that bias, it's way back here in this step to do this. So you're gonna go ahead and do that. So this is it for today. Next time we'll talk about pinning, and we'll see you soon.